Hello my lovelies! So for today's video, we are doing a review on the Jaclyn and Morphe Vault palette. This is the Ring the Alarm palette, so it's the reddish toned one. And we are doing this really pretty halo eye with it. As you can see, I did get my hair cut. I'm super excited about it. But here is a look at that palette. And of course, the first thing we're going to do is prime our eyelids with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Then we're going to jump right into the shade Rush, which is kind of a soft terracotta-y orange color. And I'm just going to use this as my transition shade, so I am just blending it really lightly throughout the whole crease. And then we're going to go ahead and start deepening up our crease using the shade Siren. And I'm just going to build that up really softly in the crease again, just a little bit lower than the terracotta shade. And we're just going to blend that all the way through. Because we are doing a halo eye, I want that color to be on the inner corner as well. Then we're going to go back and just blend a little bit more of the Rush shade over top. Make sure everything is nice and smooth. Then we're going to jump into the shade Framed, which is a really gorgeous deep burgundy shade. And I am just taking this on a kind of flat, dense shadow brush. And I am going to build this up on the outer and inner corner of the eyes. And look how gorgeous this shade is. Like, it's so pigmented. It applies so easily. I'm so impressed with the shade. Now I'm going to take more of a kind of duo fiber brush back with the Siren shade, just to blend out those edges of the dark kind of plum shade. And then I am going to take just kind of the tip of that flat shadow brush to bring the framed shade all the way across the top of the lid. And then of course we're going to go ahead and blend everything out once more, just adding a teensy bit of the Rush shade. You don't want to keep adding too much product because we still want it nice and light. And then I am just taking a completely blank fluffy brush and giving everything a nice blend. And then to make our kind of center shade pop a little bit more, I am just applying some of the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And the trick with this and with doing a cut crease is to put it on your eyelid and then look up, and that will tell you where your kind of cut should end. I got a little bit on my eyelashes, you could see, so be careful of that. But once that's on, I'm just going to pat that out with a little flat brush into kind of a triangular shape. And you can add a little bit more concealer as you need and just get everything nice and patted out and try to get to the shape the same on both eyelids. Then I'm going to go back with our framed shade and we're going to build that up just a teeny bit more and just slightly blend over those edges so that the shade we put on top will blend into it easier. And the shade we're using is the shade Bomb Ass, which is a funny name, but this is such a gorgeous shade. Like, I am obsessed with this shade. It's such a pretty, it's almost more of like a pinky toned red, you can see, but it's just so pretty. Like, I can't even explain, it's so pretty. And then once we have that on, I'm going to keep just applying the Bomb Ass shade and then going back with the framed shade and just making sure everything is nice and built up, but also very nicely blended out. Once everything is looking nice and even, we are going to go ahead and jump onto the face. I am using the Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer for a primer tonight. And then I am going in with this Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Full Coverage Foundation, which is a little bit dark for me, but I've been wanting to try it. I got it in one of my Ipsy bags. But we're just going to blend it out, and we're going to blend it down the neck really well, and it'll be okay. Then for concealer, I'm going to take my Kokie Be Bright Illuminating Concealer, and unfortunately I lost the little shade sticker, so I can't tell you what color this is. But for me, when I use this on my natural skin tone, it's pretty close to it, so this is kind of the darkest concealer I have. So just applying that under the eyes, patting out with a beauty blender, and then a small brush for those inner corners. And then because the face is a little bit dark, I am adding some on my chin and kind of in my little mustache and smile line area because it seemed a little bit dark. Then we're going to go ahead and set down everywhere we just concealed or used concealer on with the Colourpop No Filter setting powder, just their translucent shade. And I'm just going to pat that on with a little fluffy brush. Then once those are all nice and set, we're going to go ahead and set down the rest of the face just using the Coty Airspun powder. We're going to go ahead and bronze with the bronzer shade from the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Contour and Highlight palette. And I am just... oh, I realized that I got some powder on my eyeshadow there, so I just took a fluffy brush and kind of flicked it off. And then, of course, we're just bronzing cheekbones, and then we're going to go across the temples and forehead. And then we're going to add a little bit on the nose as well, just to bring the warmth to the center of the face. You can see I did not tap my brush off there. Big mistake, always tap off your brush. But we're going to go ahead and just blend it out and make everything look nice and smooth. And then we are going to put on a little bit of blush. I'm using the Bellapierre Cosmetics mineral blush in the shade Autumn Glow. And this is so pretty. It's almost a little bit orangey toned, but it just looks so glowy and nice on the skin. I'm obsessed. We're going to hurry and pop on our brows, just using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. Alright, now with brows done, I'm going to just soften that very top line again, not really adding any product to my brush there. And then the inner corners were just a little bit sharp, so I took our original terracotta shade Rush on a small brush and just blended that inner corner line. Then to finish up the eyes, I am taking the Siren shade on a little flat kind of rectangle brush. And I'm just pushing that into the lower lash line. And you can see I'm kind of pulling it out to where I want it to meet the upper lid, the lid, I guess. And then I am just taking Rush on that small fluffy brush and blending out the Siren shade nice and low to cover the eye creases. Then we're taking a little bit of a more dense, shorter shader brush to add the darkest shade Framed to the very outer corners of the lower lash line. And then I did go back with the shade Siren again, just to make sure everything blended nicely. And of course I'm going to go ahead and build up our lid shade once more. You can see I'm obsessed. And now I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes, which was a mistake. I should have just waited to build up my eyeshadow because the curlers did take it off a little bit, so I had to build it up again right here. Then we're going to go ahead and just apply some of the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. And then I am going to break this liner, but I'm going to add a little bit of this Bare Minerals liner. This is one of their Big and Bright eyeliners in the shade Plum. And I'm just adding this to my waterline and my tight line. I forgot what it's called for a second. And then while I wait for my eyes to finish watering from doing my tight line, I'm going to add a little bit of brow gel. And then we are going to pop on some false lashes here. And you can see that they did not want to be my friend today, and they did not want to stick to my eyelid at all, even though I let them dry for the same amount of time as I normally do. They just did not like me tonight, so they look maybe a little bit wonky. but there are our lashes on. Kind of, almost on. And then once those are done, we're going to just add a little bit of mascara to the lower lash line. Now we're going to go ahead and highlight using one of my favorites, the MAC Soft and Gentle Mineralized Skin Finish. And we're just going to take that on our cheekbones and bridge of the nose and tip of the nose and Cupid's bow. And then what I love about this highlighter is that I can really put it all over the face, and it just gives kind of a like natural soft glow. So I did add a little bit to my chin and my forehead as well. Then I'm going to take it on my finger and just apply it to the brow bone, and then of course buff that out so everything is nice and blended. And then we're going to take this same highlighter on the inner corner as well with just a little flat shadow brush. We're just going to build that up really nicely in that inner corner there. And then I am just taking that little detail brush on the Cupid's bow and nose as well. Then for lips today, I am using this NUDESTIX Magnetic Matte Lip Color in the shade Greystone, which is a really pretty brown shade. And with our lips on, this is actually going to be the finished look. I am so obsessed with how this look turned out, you guys. Like, it's so pretty, and I'm so excited to play with this palette more now. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you've used this palette, let me know what you think, because I love this palette. Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Also, feel free to leave any comments down below of videos you would like to see or what you thought of this look. And I will see you guys in my next video.